So what does it actually mean to make it financially? Knowing the final destination of your money journey, it's honestly one of the most powerful motivators you can have. It gives you the clarity you need to stick with it when things get tough. So let's map it out.
What does that finish line even look like, right? When can you really, truly lean back and say, I've made it? It's a question a lot of us ask. And today, we're going to define those key milestones, the big signposts on the path to true financial liberty.
Now, the engine that powers this whole trip is something called the compounding effect. Just picture a tiny snowball at the top of a really big hill. As it starts to roll, it picks up more and more snow, right? It gets bigger, it gets faster. Well, your money works the exact same way. It grows on itself over time, building the momentum you need to hit your goals.
Okay, so that snowball eventually gets you to your first major stop, and it is a big one. We're going to call this Milestone 1, Financial Security. Think of this as the bedrock, the solid foundation that everything else is going to be built on.
So what exactly is financial security? Well, it's the point where your investments are spinning off enough cash to cover your most essential needs. We're talking the absolute basics: rent, food, utilities. And here's the critical part. At this stage, you could actually stop working and know for a fact that your survival needs are met forever.
So how do you figure out your number? It's actually way simpler than you might think. First, add up your annual minimum living expenses. The bare bones budget. Then, just multiply that number by 25. This is what people call the 25x rule. And it's based on being able to safely pull out 4% a year from your investments. So, for example, if your basic needs cost, say, $2,000 a month, that's 24 grand a year. Multiply that by 25, and boom, your financial security target is $600,000.
Now, let's be clear. Hitting this number is a massive achievement. It's a safety net that guarantees you'll always be okay. But notice the word there, minimum needs. This is about survival, not about thriving. And that's exactly why, for most people, this is just the first big stop on the map, not the place you want to stay forever.
Because when you build on that foundation, you get to the milestone that most people are really aiming for: financial independence. And believe me, this is where life gets really, really interesting.
And the difference between these two is just night and day. Financial security, that's about survival, making sure the lights stay on. Financial independence, that is all about enjoyment. We're not just talking about paying the rent anymore. We're talking about funding your hobbies, traveling the world, eating out when you want to, all without that constant anxiety of checking your bank balance.
The math is exactly the same, but the number you start with is different. Instead of your bare bones minimum, you use your standard, comfortable cost of living. So let's say a good life for you costs about $4,000 a month. That's 48 grand a year. You multiply that by 25, and your financial independence number is $1.2 million.
And honestly, for the vast majority of people, this is it. This is the destination. Financial independence means money is no longer the main reason you make decisions. You finally have the freedom to choose your work, your hobbies, even where you live based on what you want to do, not what you have to do to survive.
But what if I told you there was one level beyond that? A final stage that's less about the number in your account and way more about your state of mind. This is what we can call true financial freedom.
And this distinction right here, it is absolutely crucial. See, financial independence is a math problem. It's a number, a concrete target you can hit. Financial freedom, on the other hand, is a psychological shift. It's a mindset. It's an internal way of being.
Probably the best way to think about it comes from physics. Escape velocity. You know how a rocket needs to hit a certain speed to break free from Earth's gravity? Well, it's the same idea. Financial freedom is when you've reached a level of security and perspective where you completely break free from the gravitational pull of money. It just stops being a force you worry about. You barely even think about it. So who actually lives in this state of mind? Well, you've got your billionaires, like Bill Gates, whose worries are now about global pandemics, not their personal bills. Then on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have, like, monks, who get there by detaching from material things altogether. But for most of us, this mindset comes after you hit financial independence and then cultivate this really deep internal feeling of having enough.
Okay, so hearing about targets in the millions can feel, well, a little overwhelming. I get it. So let's reframe this whole thing, because the real magic isn't just in getting to the destination, it's in the journey itself. You have to remember this, you really do. For most people, this is a 10, maybe 15-year journey, sometimes longer. It takes patience and it takes consistency. This is not about getting rich quick. It's about building a solid life, brick by brick.
But here's the best part. You don't have to wait 15 years to feel the rewards. Every single step you take makes your life better right now. The moment you're out of debt, it's like this huge weight is lifted off your mind. The day you finish your emergency fund, you feel this incredible peace of mind. Every dollar you invest gives you this feeling of control. The journey itself makes your life better day by day.
So, here's the bottom line. The ultimate goal of this entire path isn't just to stack up a giant pile of cash. The real prize is to get to a place where money and its influence are just removed from your life's equation. It's about becoming genuinely free. And that brings us right to the final and maybe the most important question, the one this entire journey is designed to help you answer. If money were completely, totally off the table, what would you do with your life? What would you build? What contribution would you make? That is what all of this is really about.